We're live.
We're live. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Dead Noise. I'm Chris, and if you don't know this guy by now, you're missing out. I am here back at Hooligans Live, my favorite music venue, with the boss man himself, Mr. Johnny Cutt.
It's me. You said gabagool is the thing that people like?
Yeah.
Gabagool? We're starting with gabagool.
Gabagool.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Hey, where's the freaking gabagoo?
So it's been a hot minute since the last time we've talked on camera.
Yeah.
You recently got off tour with Saint Asonia.
Yeah.
When you look back on that tour, what are the highlights that come to mind first for you?
Oh, yeah, dude. So it's been about a month now. Did a 6-week-long tour with Saint Asonia. For those that aren't familiar with Saint Asonia, as Adam would say, if you're not familiar with the band, get familiar with the band. Adam obviously was the original singer for 3 Days Grace for a good portion of that from the start until I think he left in like 2013.
Yep.
Either way, Adam from 3 Days Grace. Mike Mashuk from Stained is the guitarist for that, but he wasn't on this tour. He had some family stuff. He had Stained stuff going on, so Stained's got a new record coming out, so he was focused on that, I believe. So Adam from 3 Days Grace, Mike Mashuk from Stained, even though he wasn't there. Family stuff, Stained stuff, like I was saying, Stained's got a new record coming out. We had Tavis Stanley from, he's played with a lot of bands like Art of Dying, Adelita's Way. You've probably seen him with Adelita's Way for a bit. He's played in Steel Panther, a bunch of different things. Super cool guy, good homie. Cody Watkins plays drums now. He was also in Art of Dying with Tavis. And then Cale Gantier, which is Adam's cousin, playing bass. Super chill dude. I love Cale, love all the guys. He also was in Art of Dying. So it was basically Adam Gantier of 3 Days Grace with Art of Dying. You know,
That's amazing.
It was a cool tour. We were out with Skillet and Theory of a Deadman for most of the run. Skillet wasn't on a few of the shows, so it was just us and Theory, and then we did one headliner by ourselves out on that run. Every show was packed, man. It was incredible to see fans of that, magnitude out there. Like I think the biggest one we did was like 5,000 people in an arena in Omaha, Nebraska. Which coincidentally, I think we talked about Screaming for Silence in one of our last ones, which is where they're from. So I got to see a couple of those guys there. I went to Matt. Matt treated us to a bar that he manages and DJs at. So shout out Matt and Screaming for Silence. Good boys. I love that. They treated us really well. Anyways, the tour was incredible, man. A lot of big shows, a lot of proper catering, which was nice. Every day I got fed breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like not pizza and not like fast food, junk food. It was, here's how much prime rib do you want today? How much,
Oh my gosh.
Which dessert would you like? Breakfast is served at 8:00. Would you like eggs Benedict with, it had our good times and our bad times with catering, but catering was a phenomenal part of it. It was nice to be out on the road though, doing big shows with a lot of friends, seeing a lot of people that I, care about. Putting on quality rock shows for fans, man. It was a lot of fun. So 6 weeks of nothing but just rock and roll, man.
See, I kept up with you on Instagram where you had your tour log every now and then.
Yeah.
And every show just looked, like you said, packed, incredible. Do any shows stick out to you, or were they just all equally amazing across the board?
I like to think most of them, they all kind of just blend together. You're out here for day in, day out doing shows, big ones at that, so they're all kind of just melt together. If there's any standout shows, I'd like to think like the Texas shows are always fun for me. Just Texas is a different world all in itself. It was nice to see friends, I got to see the Factory again, which is in Dallas, Deep Ellum specifically. It's one of my favorite venues in the country. It just has since I've been there the first time years ago. It used to be called the Bomb Factory, but they changed the name to just the Factory.
Yep.
I guess the bomb was offensive to some fucking people. Who knows? I would like to wear my Bomb Factory hoodie to the airport. I wear it to the airport because for those that know me, I'm a bit controversial. And
Just a little bit.
just a little bit. I kind of just don't give a shit, and if I can step on toes, I'm probably gonna. I'll seek that out sometimes. But yeah, no. Anyways, those are always fun. I think Omaha, like I was just mentioning, it was probably a standout just because of how large it actually was. But just in general, there was just so many good shows. across the board. Vegas was fun. Vegas was a headliner because the show, it was just going to be us in theory at Brooklyn Bowl, Vegas, but it got postponed, and then we ended up picking up a headliner at a small club called Counts Vamped, which is also a really cool spot, kind of very machine shop-ish, a very small rock and roll club. Have you ever watched the show Counting Cars?
Every now and then.
So that the guy Count on that show owns that club in Vegas, and so I deal with him and his wife and their team there. It's fantastic. I love that spot a lot. And in Vegas, just in general, it's Vegas.
What happens in Vegas
stays in Vegas. Shh. Don't ever talk about it. Don't ever talk about it. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. I slept in a hotel room.
Maybe a van or a bus.
It was a bus. It was a full bus. Yeah, so everybody had
nice
a bus.
bus.
Yeah, it had its. It wasn't the nicest I'd ever been on. Let me just say that. Like not downing it and not mad at it. There's people who are like, oh, fucking guy was in a bus, so he couldn't be that bad. Like fucker, he were in a fucking van. Fuck this guy. Or in a Toyota Corolla. My name's Shifty Shell Shock from Crazy Town. I'm touring in a fucking Dodge Caravan with a fucking air mattress in it. No, the bus wasn't that bad, man. It's definitely, it beats the alternative. The bus was nice. There was 4 buses across the tour, 2 18-wheelers. So we rolled in deep. It was, the more preferred way to tour. I get to sleep laying down in a bed. It's nice.
And within the Saint Asonia camp, you also had Sarah from the local scene here doing content creation, videos, photo. Is that your first time touring together with her? Dude,
yeah, I had been trying to tour with Sarah, and she can confirm this, I'm sure, at a later date, obviously, because she's not here.
Where you at, Sarah?
Sarah's on tour with From Ashes to New, man.
Oh, my God,
with
that's
Shine
right.
Down in 3 Days Grace.
We just saw her a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So Sarah, that was the first time we had actually ever toured within the same camp together. We had been on tour, and she worked for a different band, and I worked for a different band. We kind of saw each other in passing, but that was years ago. That was like early on in my career as a tourer, or touring in any sense. And same with her. But this was the actually first tour that we were in the same camp, working together, doing things, and she killed it. It was very awesome to be on tour there. I got a lot of cool content for myself out of it, thankfully. That was like not a priority for me, but it was like a perk for sure. It was like, fuck yeah, I definitely want Sarah. If she's available, I know she can do this, and this. So that's, somebody with multiple, functions and very talented at what she's doing in content. Like the content creation wasn't even a reason I was able to get her out there. I needed someone to do merch and VIP. And so I was like, because they wanted me to do that and this and that and that. And I was like, man, this is too much. I can't. Let me bring in Sarah. Sarah's available. She can also do content creation, and that's really where I really want her. That's where she's going to shine. That's what she's really, really good at. But I was like, my way of getting you in is like, I need you to sell merch and I need you to do VIP and then do content creation as well if you want. And that's kind of like, it helps her because every time I treat every opportunity when I'm on tour as like an extension of an interview or like a job opportunity, because if I'm doing a really good job, other people are going to notice. Other people are going to want to hire me. Other people are going to want to offer to take me out on tour to do this or that. And that's what happened to Sarah. Obviously she's out From Ashes to New. They saw her stuff, not necessarily on this tour, but on other ones past. They're like, man, we really like her work. She's really good. She's easy to get along with, X, Y, Z, and there she is, bam, on that. And then while we were out with the Skillet Theory camps, they were loving her stuff too. They would come up, we would be sitting at catering, and John Cooper, or Jen or any of the others would come by and be like, oh my gosh, you're Sarah. Your photos are incredible. We love watching your stuff. We love seeing all your videos and your photos. They would unwarranted come and talk to her, So, and I would just she'd kind of look at me and I'd be like, there you go. That's what you're supposed to be doing, like you're making the right impressions on people just by doing what you're there to do. But another guy that I brought with me from this area is Todd. Todd, yeah. Todd, boy, he is
Zach Wild.
that guy. I love Todd to death, man. I had to keep him in line a lot.
I heard.
I want to hear you. What'd you hear? What did Todd say?
I heard it from you.
Oh shit, yeah.
On your show. Interviews no one
Oh,
asked
pardon
for,
me.
but I asked for it.
So Todd, man, Todd's really an incredible sound engineer when it comes to mixing the band. There's a few things that he has to, kind of tidy up and button up on the other sides of things, all the intangibles, or they're very tangible. There's just things that you wouldn't see because by the time you're there or by the time the audience is there, all you do is hear what's being sound, what's being sent through the speakers, what you're hearing. You don't see what it took to get to that point. But I have nothing really to say negatively on Todd. He went through like boot camp essentially, especially the first couple of weeks. That guy ran through it, but he came out the mud stronger and a little bit more experienced. He got tenderized for sure. It's like when you take a tough cut of meat and you beat the fuck out of it, and then you're like, all right, now we can work with this. Now we can grill this shit up. That's what happened to Todd. And nothing but love for him. I give him a lot of tough love, and you can ask him that. You can ask anybody that sees that. I'm not scared to tell him exactly how I think it should be said, because if I'm saying it to him, everybody else is thinking it, and they just haven't said it yet. So shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Todd. It's nice to have some hometown homies out on the road with you. It helps, when you have people that you can at least trust and have a mutual respect for outside of what you're doing. So, yeah.
Was Todd with you this past weekend at the festival with Saint Asonia?
Yeah, Todd was. The band loves him. The band is, they love Todd a lot. And I don't know if he knows that, but Todd, if you don't know it, they love you. So shut the fuck up. Quit crying about it. Todd, he was there. We did the festival. It was POD. There's a thing called Fiesta Oyster Bake in San Antonio. There was like multiple stages, different themes for each stage. Obviously, we were on the rock stage. It was really cool. A few hiccups, not necessarily on any of our ends, just dealing with festivals and dealing with different people. So we powered through it. We made it work. The fans got a good rock show. The band performed incredibly like usual. It was nice to be off tour for a minute. It was like a month. We were out for a month, and everybody was kind of starting to get that itch again. So it was nice to go ahead and scratch it, get out, do a quick one. All right, come back home. Now we can. Now we did it. Now we're back, and it was fun. So Todd handled it very well, I like to think. Todd, actually, funny story. He freaked out, right, like Todd does. And if you don't know who Todd is, hopefully this sheds some light. So Todd is what I like to consider like a very impressionable person, right? And I explain by saying Todd's a huge Alice in Chains fan, right?
Yep.
Massive. And I think most of us, in this world would be, at least have some sort of respect for the band. I'm a big fan myself. And part of the set with Saint Asonia, especially on the headline set like we were doing, Adam breaks off and does just some solo stuff, right? The band is kind of, fade into the wings, and Adam's just there with a guitar, and he'll play, and he'll just sit there and strum and talk to the crowd. And he started strumming, and the chords that he was playing started to take shape, into a song that was recognizable by, I think, most anybody in the rock world. And he started playing Nutshell by Alice in Chains, right?
Oh,
huge
my
song,
gosh.
right? And Todd, I'm sitting in front of the house. I do lighting. And Todd's kind of like, we're like this to each other, I'm sitting there doing my thing, and Todd's right there. And all I hear is Todd just go, "Holy shit!" And I was like, "Oh, fuck. Something's wrong." So I'm like, "What the fuck?" And he's just like, got his head in his hands, right? He's just like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he just like doubled over, like bent over, like he's crying." Like he's not crying, but it's like he's crying. And I was like, "Yo, is everything good?" He's like, "I can't believe it." I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean you can't believe it? And then Adam does the unthinkable. Adam goes, "This is for you, Todd." And you'd have thought someone just jerked him off. I was like, "Todd." He's like, "Oh shit, John, I can't believe it." And I was like, "Todd, act like you fucking been here before, bro. Come on." It's just a fucking song. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm like, "Yo, this is dope."
Yeah.
Super fucking dope, right? He just fucking falls into this fucking iconic song. An iconic song being sung by an iconic person,
Oh, yeah.
on a big stage at a big level. with Todd being a huge fan and me being a huge fan, both of Adam and of Alice in Chains, it's just like, what the fuck? This is cool. And then Todd's over there acting it out, what we're all thinking, right? We're like, oh, fuck, that's dope. Todd's over there like, so anyways, Todd's going to hate me for that. He's going to call me later and be like, what the fuck? You fucking dick.
I would say we'll cut it in post, but we're
Fuck
not
no,
gonna.
don't cut that out.
We're not gonna.
Better not cut that out.
Absolutely not. That's going in a short of its own.
Yeah. I got tons of Todd. We'll call them Todd Talks.
Let's go.
Todd Talks. Got tons of them.
Well, speaking of Adam Gontier and Saint Asonia, and just him as a vocalist, he's one of the most iconic voices of our generation.
Absolutely, I would agree.
So what was it like to be on the road with him day after day for a month and a half?
It's still surreal to this day. And I'll go back to like last year when I had my first interaction with him personally, and just remembering how easy it was. You know, how just like this. It was nothing like, and I try to treat every rock star or every person or whatever, I try to treat everybody just like unilaterally. Like, I mean, you're just the person, I'm just the person. Like, you know, it was cool. So we met last year. We did our thing. We you know, I wouldn't say we created necessarily a friendship or any sort of like close bond like that. Obviously, I was just there to do a job. He was there as the person I was working for in a sense. But it was good enough to know that like I was able to be brought back. And so this next time around when I saw him, you know, we had talked leading up to the tour about different things. Obviously, you got to get prepared. And when I saw him at the airport, you know, it was just like, hey, what's up? Handshake, hug, good to see you, man. You know, introduced Todd, introduced Sarah, you know, because we were all together at the time. And then we just proceeded on our tour. And I remember vividly at one point, you know, early on, because I knew how Todd felt, you know, and I was just like, you gotta just treat him like he's normal, bro. No big deal, right? And I remember at one point I went to Adam and I was like, it was just me and Adam. I was like, look, man, I've got to say it, just so I say it, it's out there, because the last person to be that guy is me. You know, I'm a super fan, but I'm not like going to act as such. You know, I'm not gonna fucking be weird and, you know, beg for your autograph or like fucking jerk you off or whatever the fuck those people do. Kudos to you, no problem with that. But anyways, I go to him. I was like, look, man, I just got to say it. I'm a huge fan. I have been for a long time. And funny enough, my brother growing up, he was younger. He's 4 years younger than me. We had a copy of the 1X Live DVD, right? And we fought about who could have it, like to watch it, right? So I told him that. I was like, just a funny story, man. I'm throwing it out there, and he thought it was funny. You know, he laughed. He's like, yeah, that's funny. You know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, and that's it. That's all I'm going to say. You know, I respect him as a artist. I respect him as a person. I respect him as a friend now. I respect him as, you know, anything, a boss, a colleague, whatever. We still text, you know, usually stupid memes. We shared a bond over Denzel Washington.
That's the best kind of friendship.
Right? You know, we send each other stupid shit. We make a lot of jokes. You know, the group thread, don't ever read it. It's funny. That's all you need to know. But yeah, the interaction, you know, to answer your question, it was awesome. It was nice. It felt surreal. Like I said, it's just one of those things. It's like this guy has such a massive impact on people, and I saw that every day when Sarah and I would both handle the meet and greets with the fans, and just to see the sheer amount of people burst into tears when they see him, or to tell him how much he's done for them through his music, or how he saved their life, or, you know, it really kind of reels it all back into, like, you know, I think of things in a certain way, but seeing how many other people feel a different way, whether it be emotional or otherwise, and just how strongly they feel about it, it makes me kind of re-envision who this person is. You know, he's not just Adam. He's this savior of sorts. He's a proverbial rock and roll Jesus. You know, he's coming and when he performs, when he comes with you with a song to you, it's, you know, very personal, and people take things different ways, and they you know, a select few of them get to explain that to him. So it was nice to see. And like I said, it was just incredible. It's an incredible experience to be able to get to work for him, get to know him, and become a friend in a sense. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question.
Oh, that was perfect.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, kudos. did justice. Hope Adam, when he sees this, yeah, you're a great guy. I love you.
Shout out Adam Gontier.
Shout out Adam G.
So we're sitting here in this empty music hall.
Yeah.
And we've seen this place packed to the brim several times before.
Yeah.
Is Saint Asonia a band that could be brought here?
I think so. I would like to bring them. Yeah. They're at that really good mid-level where, they can go and do big stuff with big bands and arenas and theaters and amphitheaters and whatever. And they're still on a small enough scale to be able to go and play big clubs or even mid-sized clubs like us and still hold their own. I think this market's very finicky, so
yeah.
I think it would do okay here. They would fit for sure,
We got to see that happen one day.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. I know a guy.
You know a few guys.
I know a few guys. Yeah, we'll get that straight.
Hey.
Speaking of, though, we just picked up in July, I just got word that the Saint Asonia got added to a couple of Shinedown shows. So
Really?
We'll be doing a couple of Shinedown things in July, I believe. It should be out there. Look it up. I don't know.
You're going on the road with them?
Yeah, it was to be determined.
Nice.
Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see what's going on.
Well, I've also heard you have a few festivals coming up with another band you're
New
connected
Year's Day,
to.
yeah.
New Year's Day.
Yeah. So they had a few festivals, man, that were booked actually the same weekend, like a little last weekend. They had some festivals down in Florida, but they ended up having to bow out. They're doing some stuff with a new record.
Okay.
So they got to get a new record finished before they really do anything else right now. So they're kind of in limbo with performing live. Ash, hurry the fuck up. She literally texted me earlier too, by the way. She was like, "I miss you, friend." I was like, "Yeah, I miss you too. Get the fucking shit together."
Oh my gosh.
But there are a few I think that are still confirmed for later in the year. We'll see. I don't know. It's one of those things where I've got so many things in the air. It's kind of hard to necessarily nail any of them down right now. At the time this interview has been recorded, I am unsure. By the time it airs, I might have more clarity. Yeah.
You might.
Maybe. I don't know.
We
We'll
can
see.
hope.
Knock on wood. I think this is a composite, actually. I don't even think this is wood. It might be some kind of weird OSB sawdust shit, so technically it would be wood.
It's synthetic.
Close enough.
I failed chemistry. I don't know
There
how
it
that
is.
works.
I love you, wood. I love desk. I love table.
I love lamp.
Lamp. There it is. I love lamp.
I love lamp. I love lamp.
The last time we spoke, we talked about a couple upcoming shows at our inaugural State of the Venue address. And since then, you've had some monster shows. You've had Lorna Shore, From Ashes to New came back. Yep. Friggin' Hawthorne Heights. Cold came back to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Year of the Spider. Yep. That's the past. There's so much more coming down the line. So what shows coming up are you most excited for, if you can narrow it down?
Sure. I think right off the rip, obviously the big announcement that I had the other day was the Ginger show.
Super Ginger.
Stoked. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was a big one, man. That'd be another like Hawthorne, Lorna Shore caliber show, somewhere between the two. I think that's a definitely big one. Black Flag was another big announcement.
Yep.
I couldn't, call me whatever you want to call me. I'm not a huge fan. I'm really not. But I do realize how iconic that is.
Same.
And I think we've spoke about this briefly in interviews past, where if we only booked things that I liked, we wouldn't book a whole lot.
Yep.
So knowing that Black Flag is just one of those iconic bands, it was exciting enough for me. For a guy in my position, it's like, man, I don't necessarily care for that, but I know a lot of people that do. And I just know the weight that name carries, and Mike Vallely, obviously being the vocalist for it currently, and obviously they've had a slew. Henry Rollins is the name that comes up a lot. People are asking me, man, it's Henry, what's going on? I was like, no, it's Mike. They're like, still sick,
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, man. Black Flag's huge, Ginger's huge. Unfortunately, I just had to cancel the Soulja Boy one.
Yeah.
That's not on us. That's not on anything that we did right or wrong. So shut the fuck up. Quit fucking telling me, oh, I knew it was going to happen. You didn't know fucking dick. It's just one of those things.
Did that same Facebook person from last time pop up?
There's this person that always chimes in on the Hooligans page, right? Anytime I announce a show or advertise something, they always have something bad to say. It's never anything positive, or they never just leave it alone. So this person would always comment something like, "Are you kidding me?" or like, "Come on, dude," or like, something like negative, like something stupid and passive. And at first I would respond going, "We're sorry you feel this way." We try to do things to appease multiple demographics. If you don't like this, there's probably something else that you will like. And I started saying things like, well, if you don't like it, why don't you fucking do it? Like, where's your venue at?
Yep.
Where's your concert at? Who do you want to see? Why don't you call them and ask them to come and play here? We'll give you the club. Like, rent the club and do it your fucking self. If you don't like it, the opportunity for you to do it yourself exists. Come and talk to me. Door's always open. Produce your own event. Quit talking shit about mine, bitches.
No, is it the same person?
Yeah, it's the same person over and over. I hope you see this. Yes, it's that person. Fuck you. Fuck you. I haven't seen that person in a while. I forget if I blocked her or not. But I think I finally got tired. I was like, you know what? Stop. Just stop.
So we're never going to get Metallica unplugged?
No, we're never going to get Metallica unplugged.
Damn it.
Yeah, sorry. We're not going to get fucking Iron Maiden. I give you a tribute, but I can't give you Iron Maiden. Bruce Dickinson is not flying Flight 666 to OAJ and driving 20 minutes to play at the Hooligans stage. I'm sorry. I tried. I called him. He's like, hey, can we make it happen? Bruce is like, yeah, we could, but. And I was like, there's always a but, Bruce. Sorry. Anyway, that's that story.
But we got Ginger. We got Black Flag.
There's a few more. I'll tell you off camera, but I'm working it. I'm trying for you. I'm trying for you and you and you. I'm trying for all of us here, man. Fuck, I'm one man. Got a small team. We're doing the best we fucking can. Appreciate what you get in this tiny town.
I think you guys are doing great.
Thanks, man.
I know I said that last time, but I legit mean it, especially seeing the shit that's come down the pike this year. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, hopefully there's more of it.
Over the last 6 months, maybe a year, maybe longer, some fans and even bands have been pretty outspoken about the industry, whether it's venues taking merch cuts or Ticketmaster taking all sorts of fees.
Sure.
Some of this might be outside of your realm of expertise, but from your experience in the industry, are things like that a necessary evil, or are there ways to go about not having certain things in place?
Yeah, so being on all sides of it like I am in various degrees, and I'm probably going to get crucified for some of this, but there is some sort of necessary evil that involves with some of these things. And I can say it from firsthand experience, whenever, take like a Ginger or a Black Flag or any of these shows. So when we produce these events, people see a full room, but they don't see how much it costs to put that room together. So again, and don't crucify me as much as I know you want to. Some of the things are a little bit unnecessary to think, but when you're a venue like House of Blues, where you've got so many big things coming in all the fucking time, it takes a team of people to do events. Here you see me, you see Ryan, you see Jesse, you see the small team that we have.
Yep.
That ain't shit. When it comes to doing shit like that consistently, every other day or weekly or whatever it is, we do big shit here and there, and pretty much everything else is consistent. Ain't a big deal. But somewhere down the line, there's salaries that are having to be paid, and if the band costs $20,000 and you sell $1,020 tickets, that's just $20,000. Oh, you paid for the band, but did you pay for everything else?
Nope.
Did you pay for the rent? Did you pay for the electric bill? Did you pay for all the utilities? Did you pay for the manager's salary, the production manager's salary, the event manager's salary, the hospitality manager's salary? Did you pay all your staffing costs for the event? Did you pay for all your cost of goods, your tax? Did you pay for all your advertising? Did you pay for, the point there's a lot of stuff. Now again, should the ticket price face value be increased? Sure, maybe. I don't know. Tax is a thing. We pay tax on everything. So when we hire a band, we pay tax on that. We pay tax on that income. So whenever you buy a ticket and you're like, oh, it's a $20 ticket, plus 7% tax, or plus this, or plus these, and then you got to think IU, like Live Nation uses Ticketmaster.
Yep.
They're not the same company. I use C-Tickets. We're not the same company. How does C-Tickets get compensated for their efforts? You know, like there's a fee. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. Don't shoot me for saying these things. Again, like I said, some of it I feel like it's a little unnecessary. Maybe some of it's a little exaggerated. But when you buy a ticket at $20 and you pay an extra $6 or $7 in fees and taxes, just know that it's going to everything else that makes it run. You know, like we're fortunate here that I do a lot of things that a place like Myrtle Beach House of Blues would pass off to several people. You know, I'm handling GMing, I'm handling production managing, I'm handling event managing, I'm handling back of house stuff. Like when you see the website and all the ticket links, that's me building it all. You see all the Facebook events and all the stuff on social media, it's, 9 times out of 10 it's me building it all. Ryan does some of it too. And Jesse's got a hand in some of it, but like a lot of it's me, so a bigger place like that has no time to waste with one person trying to stretch themselves thin has somebody for each one of those things. So I don't know. I guess the long story short, what I'm trying to say is the fees actually probably go to paying operational costs, as unfair as it may seem. So,
see, we're very privileged at Hooligans because I think the online fees are reasonable.
Sure.
But then I see people buy certain tickets to certain shows via Ticketmaster, and they have like 4 or 5 different fee categories.
Yeah.
That seems a little excessive, but again, I'm not a businessman, so I don't know how that works.
Sure.
It might go to operational costs,
Sure.
but I figured that...
I think they do.
They might.
Sure.
I figured if there's anybody in the industry that I could ask that without having them get upset at me, it would probably be you.
Yeah.
I think some venue managers would have walked out by now.
No. I try my best to bridge the gap between both sides, or all sides, rather. There's several of them. There's the artist side, there's the venue side, there's the business. There's so many sides to this thing. It's insane.
Production.
Yeah, a lot of it. I do my best to be transparent because I like to consider myself on every side. So, like, I'm fighting the fight for the little guy, but I'm also on the big man side. I'm also on this, I do my best to feel it out in the middle. I'm in this gray area where most people in this fucking world should live. There's a white area, there's a black area. I'm in the fucking gray area. I'm right here in the middle. Y'all come over. There's plenty of fucking room. There's plenty of room in the gray area. Shout out Adam Sandler. I think that's a quote from one of his movies. Maybe it was Big Daddy. I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway,
The one movie I haven't seen by him.
you should see that. It's a great movie. Anyways, he says something like, there's plenty of room in the gray area. Like, fucking come on over. There's plenty of room. Everybody should live here in the gray area. So that's where I'm at when it comes to that type of thing specifically. I get the need for it. I understand the exaggeration on some parts. I understand the frustration. I understand all that stuff. Venue merch cuts. Same situation. I'm not for them. I'm not against them. I'm in the fucking gray area. I don't take them rarely. Like if a band comes in here and fucking slays it and they hand it to me, and then they hand it to me. I don't necessarily go chasing them for it because I get it. A lot of times, I'm like, yo, man, give me a shirt. And they're like, fuck yeah. I'm like, cool, keep your fucking money. Give me a shirt. If the shirt costs nothing to them as opposed to like giving a chunk of their money. And a lot of times if it's like a small band on a package that's getting paid pennies, I don't even worry about it. So it's one of those things where it's very case by case, and how does it affect me? If I know for a fact there's a fuck ton of people coming in here that are like penny pinching, they're like, man, do I spend $20 on this or do I spend $20 at the bar? That's now hurting sales for the business. So maybe, yeah. I don't know. Either way, again, don't shoot me. I'm in the gray area. I'm not going to go or micromanage your merchandise and count it and force you, and I'm not going to do it in any aspect. So pay me. Cool. Don't pay me. Depends on how much of a dick you are, too. If you come here and act like a fucking twat, yeah, I want to fucking count it. Fuck you. But
Join the gray side.
join the gray side, bro. There's plenty of room here, man. Just come and vibe, bro. Just chill. Just fucking let it go.
Well, speaking of acting like an asshole in some shifty business, you had an event here
Shifty.
last weekend called New Metal Madness. And I was here for the local bands. Shout out Waking Terra, Defile the Crown, Heathen Sun, everybody on the local side.
Curb Trip, Death of Uriah.
Head Trip Trauma.
Head Trip Trauma, yeah.
But as soon as I leave after Waking Terra, Crazy Town goes on stage.
Shit got crazy.
Shit got crazy.
Crazy.
And you were in...
I was in Saint Antonio.
Yep.
I wasn't even fucking here.
And some shit went down.
Yeah.
And I would just love to hear what the news was like from your side, half a country away.
Oh, man.
For those who haven't heard the story, I would love to hear it come from you.
So I'm blessed, in a sense, to have so many great friends painting a picture for me the entire fucking time that I felt like I was here. I was in the dark for a long time, though, because as the festival filled up with people, my service got dim, and to the point where my phone literally said SOS. It's like, yo, we have no service back here. There's so many fucking people. Whatever. Either way, the last correspondence that I had was from Jesse and Ryan, managers here as well. They were explaining to me what the fuck was going on as it was happening. And without getting into too many colorful choice words as to what actually happened, my response was, what the fuck? Don't pay him until we assess these damages and figure out what needs to be replaced. And at that point, we'll handle it with the agency, because it's not going to happen tonight. And dark, because my phone lost service. I was like, shit, something's going down at home, and I had no idea what's up. So for like 6 hours, from like, I don't know, it was like 6 to like 11, 12, something like that, I was in the dark, couldn't figure out what was going on. I just focused on what I was doing at the festival. I had a job there to do. And as soon as the festival was over and the band was done and people left, it was like resurgence of internet signal and data. AT&T is like, fuck yeah, here you go, you can have this shit back. And it's like text messages flooding in. I was like, bling, 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 bling. And it was just local bands, fans, staff, managers, band members on the tour. Everybody was just like, bro, what the fuck? And I started seeing videos. I got a TikTok sent to me immediately. I was like, damn, this shit is already up. And essentially what had happened was, from start to finish, what I know from what I was told, and again, I wasn't here. Shifty shows up late, such is the case on a lot of his events, come to find out. Shows up late. Instead of parking where artists are supposed to park and coming through where artists are supposed to enter, he tries to park up front and come through the front door, and he's stopped by security. And security's like, hey, what are you doing? You can't, He's like, well, you know who I am? And they're like, no, we don't. Which, I mean, whatever, man. Can't expect everybody to know you, especially him. They don't let him come in, and someone ends up coming to vouch for him, right? Somebody's like, oh, no, this is Shifty. Yeah, we got to blah, blah, blah. And they're like, all right, whatever. He has no credentials. He has no tour pass. He has nothing. He then comes into where we're at now, this music hall where the concert actually happens, and I've got security posted for the backstage entrance, and they won't let him pass either. They're like, yo, no, we can't come back here without credentials. We don't know who you are. And he's like, you don't know who I am. I'm Shifty, whatever. I'm great. They're like, yeah, whatever. He looks like a bucking bum, bro. He looks like every homeless guy out front. It causes a bit of a scene, right? Somebody again is like, oh, Shifty and whatever, and they let him come back. And then he goes on stage to perform, and he's not there for a sound check, so he doesn't really get one, right? You got to show up early to do that. And so Animal, our national treasure monitor engineer, has kind of done what he can based off of what the other guys in his band have told him that, he would like or would need in his monitors. And for those that don't know what monitors are, they're the speakers that are on stage that the artist hears what the artist is doing. So you hear what's coming through the PA. The artist hears what's coming through the monitors. And most of them have in-ears these days, but Shifty doesn't, according to him, he spent his last dollar getting to this shithole town. So I guess he doesn't have in-ear monitors. Anyway.
Catalytic converter.
Or, yeah. Apparently he needs catalytic converters. We'll get to that in a second, though. And there's a video floating around. I'm sure most people that have followed the story or have checked in on it have seen it. There's a video of him like on stage performing, and you hear some feedback, and he just fucking drop kicks the fucking monitor off the stage. And you see Animal come meet him mid-stage and like kind of chest check him, right? He's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" He's at Animal Point. He's like, "What the fuck?" You know, you don't really know what's being said. The band's still playing. Nobody stopped, which is, I mean, that's what a professional band does. Regardless, the show goes on. And you see Animal Point. You see them kind of argue for a second. Then you see Shifty hop off the stage. And you see Animal kind of walk to one side like he's going to get off, and he like turns around. He's like, "Oh, fuck that." And he walks back, and you see the monitor just fly up and down, and it lands back on the stage with a thud. Doof. And Shifty climbs back up, right? And the song ends, and Animal's there arguing with him, like, and he's unplugging the monitor, and he's taking it away, and like you hear Shifty just talking shit to Animal, like, "Yeah, you take that fucker monitor, blah blah blah. All I could hear was I couldn't hear anything but everything else, but I couldn't even hear my vocals. It was hurting me. Yeah, whatever." And so they took the monitor away from him. And then I watched the entire set from another perspective, which showed that, as well as him like stomping on everything else on the stage, like kicking all the other monitors. They just happened to not fall off the stage. And just continue talking shit about my security, talking shit about my staff, talking shit about the sound guys, apologizing to the crowd, ironically enough. "Sorry guys, it's all shitty here, blah blah blah. I hate this fucking place," whatever. He continues to go about this situation until he finally, after the monitor being kicked off the stage happens, and that's kind of where it all spirals from there. A few other times go by and they're arguing. My guys have now cut his microphone off. You know, like, fuck this shit. He tries to take the microphone off the drums. He's trying to sing into that. It's not working. And then he takes the other singer's microphone from him while he's singing. And the other guy's just like, "I guess fuck me, I guess," and walks off the stage. And then Shifty's on that mic. And it gets to the point where Animal and the sound guys are all just like, "You know what, fuck this. You're done. Get off stage." All right, they cut him short. He doesn't play Butterfly.
Oh,
no. Damn, he doesn't play Butterfly.
The one song he's known for.
Right?
Oh, no.
And so the Animal comes out. He's like, "Nah, fuck this shit." And Shifty's like, "All right, whatever." She drops the mic and goes off stage. And there's like 5 people going, "One more song." And then the other singers was like, "I guess that's our time. I guess I'll do the last song by myself." The Shifty comes back on stage, grabs the mic. He's like, "No, you're not." Throws the mic. Jesus. And then it's like, then they get in an argument again. Animal, our sound guy, and Shifty are on stage arguing. And security comes up, kind of puts hands on Shifty, and like not shoves him, but like ushers him off the stage. And to where after that happens, it continues. The story's not over. Apparently he's pacing out back. And when he gets out back, everybody in every local band is apparently sitting there waiting for him to do something, because everybody's like, "You fucking with Animal, you fucking with all of us," kind of shit. It's a very pack mentality kind of thing. So they're all sitting there waiting. Court's my favorite from Curb Trip, the drummer, like a little bowling ball he is. He's like, I'm sitting there smoking a cigarette. I flick the cigarette at him to let him know that we're in there watching him, and it doesn't even faze him, right? Either way, he goes to get paid at some point, right? And Jesse, one of the other managers here, just refused to pay him. He's like, "No, we're not paying you, bro. We're going to handle it with the agency. We're going to handle it with your management, whatever." He's like, "Oh, I fired them. You know, you got to handle it with me." He's like, "No, I'm not handling shit with you. You know, more so just like, we got to figure this shit out before anybody gets paid. Like, not anybody. Like, everybody else got paid fine, no problem. We're not those people. We're not going to not give you your money. But what you just fucking did resulted in a lot of money, you know, that we now have to figure out how to take care of, because you just destroyed some of our shit. And it's not free. It's not cheap." So that obviously it upsets him. And he's not going to have it. And he starts, you know, saying different things. And Jesse said, "Look, we can handle it one of 2 ways. We can either handle it with the agency, like we said we're going to do, or we can call the police. We'll file an incident report. We'll have a property damage report, and then we'll still handle it with the agency." Obviously, he chose the first of the 2 options. You know, he doesn't really have a choice, because we're not going to pay him. And so apparently he goes out back, gets in his truck, or getting whatever the fucking thing he rolled up in, and he just drives around the venue and like revs his engine and like stares at security guys like menacingly.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
I don't know how menacing you can be with no teeth, but you know, he did it. Either way, we wash our hands of it. Everything's good. Show goes off. Everything else is fine. Show ends. Everybody else is paid. Everybody's fine. Everybody goes about their business. And I find out the very next day, what you guys just saw was a classic fucking Jerry Springer episode, rest in peace. They were out backstage, I guess, at the venue they played the very next night in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where the video, if you search, you find it. It's not a hard thing to find. Of Shifty beating the absolute shit out of Bobby, the other singer. And there's a lot of colorful language, to be warned. Don't it's very profane, and it's not for the weak-hearted because it's fucked up. Bobby says some very mean things about Shifty and his children, and his sister. And I actually felt bad for Shifty. I actually gained a little bit of respect for him because I could look at the video and you could tell that Shifty was just like, bro, don't do this. Don't do this. Giving him every opportunity to not do whatever the fuck he was going to do. And then he fucking punches him in the face. Like, he's like Bobby sucker punches Shifty, right? Bam. Terrible punch, by the way. Fucking worst shit in the world. And Shifty even then was like, yo, what the fuck? Come on, bro. What are you doing? And then he does it again. And then Shifty just knocks him one good time. Like, it's bad. Either way, I got sent that video by a couple of guys, unnamed. They're like, dude, this is insane. From there, I guess I found out later by other people across everybody's calling me. TMZ's calling me. Other bands that aren't even involved with this tour are calling me. They're asking me what's going on. They're telling me what's being said to them. I finally figured out the reason for this fight was that we didn't pay him the night before. And Shifty, for some reason, thought that Bobby, the other singer, collected the payment from us.
Bro.
Right? Which could have been easily debunked. But I don't know. I saw the same thing you guys saw, right? It's hard to deduce exactly what the fuck happened just because it's just a meth-fueled brawl. It's
World Star.
Dude, I thought some dude was just gonna pop and go whoopsie, at some point, man. It's like some Mortal Kombat shit. There's blood everywhere, a lot of N-bombs, a lot of F-bombs, a lot of fucking really like that shit was just unacceptable. I had put myself in Shifty's shoes. I would have gone to jail for murder. I would have probably killed that guy for some of the things he said. Mm-hmm. But that's just me. That's just us. That's the difference between us two. But he didn't go to jail for that. He went to jail for DUI. Shifty did, because I was sent a voicemail from the Myrtle Beach Police Department stating that Shifty was in jail. They had arrested him for DUI. His court appearance was at 9 o'clock the next morning, and that he needed to be bailed out. It wasn't sent. It wasn't like to me, but I was sent that, from a creditable source, And furthermore, the very next morning, I was sent another voicemail from Shifty himself saying, hey, brother, I just fucked up. I got fucking arrested. I'm in Myrtle Beach. I need to get bailed out. Help me out, man. Which is sad. Like, I don't mean to poke fun, but with what he did here to my people, to my house, fuck that. Get some help, bro.
I think what's even better is how your impression of him is so spot on.
I have more teeth, so it's hard to do.
To the toothless Shifty.
The toothless Shifty, you know what I'm saying? You're my little fly, you're my pretty fly. You're a pretty fly, sugar, baby. Yeah. Like, for real though, if you know somebody that's fucking strung out, like, try to get them some help. Like, all jokes aside, like, that guy's got some serious demons, some real problems, whether they're self-inflicted or not, and Bobby too, the other guy, he needs just as much help, honestly, if you're asking my opinion. I don't know these guys no more than anybody else does, but fucking Christ, get it together, bro. Get it the fucking together. Anyway, that's my Shifty Shell Shock story. I got a shirt being printed right now that says Free Shifty. They'll be for sale. Get at your boy.
Oh my.
Shameless marketing plug.
In affiliation with Cutthroat Clothing.
Cutthroat Clothing now has free shifty T-shirts available for sale.
Oh my. Are you gonna sell them here?
If I get one up. Exclusive.
Well, on a bit of a lighter note, we've talked about you as a businessman, and we've kind of touched on you as a fan. Sure. But like you like the Foo Fighters, you like Creed. When it comes, you love metal and rap and all sorts of genres. When it comes to music as a whole, do you believe in guilty pleasures, or do you just like what you like and don't care who knows it?
You know, I think liking what you like and not caring what people think is in itself the guilty pleasure. I think guilty pleasures are, everybody has one, but they're only guilty pleasures if you feel guilty when you listen to it, you know? And I don't have those feelings because I'll listen to what I want to listen to regardless of who's in the room and regardless of who says what. So to me, I guess the stereotypical guilty pleasure doesn't apply. But I'm also aware enough to know what people would try to criticize you for, so therefore I know what would necessarily be the guilty pleasure if I felt guilty of it, you know what I'm saying? And for those, for what falls into that category for me would obviously be Creed. You know, I like Creed, so people give them a bad rap for whatever reason, whatever. Man, they sold a lot of records. They got good quality music, I like to think. You know, for whatever reason. You don't like them, that's your opinion. Cool. I respect that. I'm going to listen to them if I want. And any band in that area, you know, like Nickelback, or like people, I know people that like shit on Matchbox 20 and shit like that. You know, I'm like, man, this is good music. Yeah. I wouldn't listen to it all the fucking time. I go through, you know, spells where I want to listen to this or I want to listen to that, or like if that comes on, I'll listen to it, or I mean, sometimes I'll change it, you know. It depends on the mood. But those kinds of bands would be like my guilty pleasure, you know, like the typical, oh, you like them, you must be, you know, Rainbow Boy, you know, or whatever you know, to be politically correct. Obviously, I don't want to get canceled, don't want to get you in trouble.
I appreciate it.
There's people that just have this very Neanderthal mindset about something that's so subjective, such as music.
Right.
You know, like what you like, live and let live. I try to like live my life that way. Like if it ain't bothering me, if it ain't feeding me, fucking me, or fighting me, I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like unless you're paying my bills, unless you're sucking my dick, you know, unless you feed my dinner, you know, feed me dinner, I don't give a fuck what you have to say about it. You know, like your opinion of what I like isn't going to make me feel any better or worse. And if that's your goal, then shame on you. You know, if you try to make me feel bad for liking one thing that you don't necessarily like, then suck my dick. I don't give a fuck. Period. Period.
Well, on a similar note, talking about favorite artists, favorite songs, we have reached my favorite part of every interview. Speed round, baby. And with this being our third interview together, I figured I'd change things up a little bit, keep things fresh. So instead of this typical rapid-fire questions, I've got 10 bands that you're either associated with or have played at Hooligans, or both.
Sure.
And I want to hear your favorite songs by them.
All right. I'll do it as fast as I can. Go ahead.
First one, New Year's Day.
Skeletons.
Saint Asonia.
Blinding Lights.
Other than that one.
Fuck. Devastate's a really good one.
Which one?
Devastate.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a really good one.
Kasky.
Oh, dude, there's a lot of them. So Many Ways to Hustle's a good one. No Volume. Going Pop. Yeah, a fuck ton of them. I like a lot of his shit.
From Ashes to New.
Panic's a really good one.
Fit for a King.
Oh, fuck, I don't really know a lot of their songs by the name. Fuck, I don't know. I'm sorry. Skip.
I Prevail.
Oh, dude, Gasoline's a good one.
Waking Terror.
The new one, Last Campaign.
Cold.
Stupid Girls is just gotta be the big one, you know, of course.
Bad Omens.
Bad Omens. Was that the fucking one that everybody's playing right now?
Just Pretend.
Is that it? Yeah. That's the one. That's the one. I like that.
Scott Stapp Solo.
Solo, fuck, man. Is it New Divide? Was that one of his things?
The Great Divide.
The Great Divide. New Divide was Linkin Park. I'm sorry.
They're both equally great.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not really big on Scott Solo stuff, but The Great Divide was a good one.
That was his first solo album.
I think so. Yeah, it was one. I mean, it sounds a lot like Creed, of course, but you know.
Creed 2.0.
Sure. I mean, you can't. The Creed's the voice. The voice is Creed. So.
Well, that was the
That was
speed run.
fast.
I think that's the fastest speed run.
Fast
in
as
the
fuck,
history of
boy.
mine.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Was there any closing message to any Hooligans fans, any Cutthroat fans, any interviews no one asked for fans?
I guess if anybody's made it this far, thanks. I didn't realize that was that interesting to have 3 interviews, much less 3 long ones where you watch the whole fucking thing. So if you've made it this far, sick. Keep an eye on the Hooligan stuff. Obviously, we got things that are to be announced, some things that I can't talk about, some things that I'm working on, fingers crossed, for all of us, you know. Keep an eye on the New Year's Day stuff, nydrock.com. Keep an eye on the Saint Asonia stuff, saintasonia.com. Tons of stuff coming from both those bands. New album coming from New Year's Day sometime soon. Saint Asonia is currently on tour in Canada, and we're going to be doing stuff in America again soon. Yeah, free my boy Shifty, Crazy Town. You know, shout out to you, Crazy Town Butterfly 23. Mic drop.
Well, man. Oh my God. As always, I appreciate the
fast.
time. It's always
Yeah.
great talking with you, man. Can't
Pleasure,
wait
bro.
to do it again.
Absolutely, man. You name the time and name the place. The place is here. You name
Place
the
is
time.
here.
Yep.
Well, until the next one, stay tuned, stay scared, and I'll catch you later.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.